Hello, this is OWDQ, and I'm just doing a little update on my Mage because I haven't put a video out in a while, and just thought I would throw this out there. Geez, I think it's been a good while actually since I've covered my Mage a little bit, so I'm gonna go through my macros in case there are other macro people that this might be helpful for, or maybe some just whatever. Okay, here we go. um, this is my lineup of spells that I have just always almost. It's my combat line, and I hardly ever need to change it. Whenever this aura roll runs out, I just set this up so that just this last one puts in the aura spell. Cast that real quick, and then just kind of go back to my combat line like that, and then puts the chaotic boon in there. Get a little extra healing on the pet. I always like to have Call of the Heroes, the group Call a Hero, in, because I group with this character usually on Sundays, but for right now currently there's a TLP that's going on that Sunday group wanted to kind of participate on, and I didn't, so I didn't. So I've been kind of open on Sundays, but it doesn't really impede my progress solo or anything, so I just leave it in there. So that's the line up there. I do have this AoE spell thing happening. It just does one spell, and that inserts this rain spell in, and throw that instead of the big fire nuke that is in my combat normal line. I do Rain of Blades just because I like how it looks. There's another one that's fire that I think it technically does a little bit more damage, but because this is magic and it might get resisted more, the debuff that I put on there adds another 10% of damage to this. So it's probably a wash as far as the overall damage, at least on the main target anyway. So it's probably a little. If there's other targets that haven't been debuffed with that debuff, then it's going to be less, I suppose. But again, I just like how it looks. So that's the lineup there, and these are some other. I'll just show these here. I got that just so I could quickly get to the loot window if I need to. I don't like to show corpses, but occasionally I need to show corpses, so I got a show corpse and a hide corpse always. In case I need to see what it's been, I'll do that real quick. See, there's corpses around. I just hit the show corpse button I made. There's only one that hasn't been looted yet. After they're looted, it's probably got like a collection thing on it that I don't need. I'll just hide it, and then it just hides the corpses all the time. Keeps the ground nice and clean. Helps with lag if you need it. I don't always need it. I got these AFK buttons here. This is my AFK button. What I like to do is I like to turn pet hold as well as pet focus off. So I walk away, and if I'm solo and there's a healer, I got healer merc. So if I walk away and something attacks, pet engages, taunts it off and everything, and then hopefully if something else comes in, even run over there and attack him. It's a little bit more likely to be alive if something unusual happens while I'm in the bathroom or whatever I'm doing. I got a little message on there to anybody that might send me a tell that says I'll be back soon. And the AFK off just turns AFK sign off, and it puts all the other stuff back on. Because I have one account, and if I'm playing solo, I'm playing truly solo, except for the Merc. Um, I think Molo's is stupid. I used to say it, and it's always sounded so left-handed when I say Molo, so it's still solo. Um, anyway, I can control my pet a lot easier because I'm just playing this one character, and they're a lot easier to control if you got the G hold on, and you just have it go and attack something else, and it just goes right away. Um, you don't have to have it regroup or anything. You can bebop it on however many mobs you want to go to, and mobs are repopulating here. I've been kind of slaughtering this area. Those are those. I'm not going to say a lot, hopefully. I talk a lot about these. It's the Molo button there that I pull with, and I got stuff labeled. Oh, I'll explain the Xtar thing. I always have my pet Elwood in this first slot, and for my extended target, if you just set it up for pet, it'll stay no matter what the name of your pet is. So you'll always reliably be able to target it if you have a macro that needs to target for something. And then the second one is just permanently my Merc. I do that because I like to have these other ones that. No, I don't actually. Well, I got a shrink Merc, so there's that. If I use a different Merc than what I have, I got a frog right now, but a different fancy one that's a little big, I like to shrink it with the shrink ring I have here. Ring of the Ancients. Anyway, so that explains the Xtar things. So there's that. My pet attack thing. The progression pet buff is this. I do believe this always says, I wish it upgraded. When you upgrade it, I wish it had that in this window, but it doesn't. Anyway, I think on my Mage, I only have rank 3. I don't think I ever got rank 4. I think there's a few quests in that X pack, which would be the one with the space dragons. I'm blanking it right now, but little brain fart. Anyway, but you can usually, if you're just kind of a group player like me, it doesn't really raid. You can usually get up to rank 4 if you group a little bit and you get the missions done and the quests done. That usually adds up to getting rank 4. I found anyway. This is absolutely amazing. Even rank 1, because I think that's what it's going to show here. Yeah, rank 1. It just makes your pet awesome. And it gets extended, so it says 12 seconds, but it's longer than that because of your AAs that you should be up to date on. If you always work your AAs. And then there's that one. It's just I call it my lazy nuke because I kind of break my general rule that you only want to put no more than 3 things on the Mage. I said screw it. I'm just filling up all 5 bars and it's fine. I mapped my X key to cancel casting, so I just kind of spam that a few times to get out of if I really need to get out of this, and then handle with whatever surprise is going on. And it's been a good system for me. So maybe I'm kind of recanting the whole need to only have 3 things on there and just go ahead and go nuts and put 5 on there. I think I did that with my Necro, but I don't play him very much anymore. There's the nuke spam. I got that set up as sort of a filler because there's a little pause at the end of this lazy nuke thing that just goes automatically, and there's enough time to either, usually if this is back up, it has that as the second priority, right? So the first priority is always Enraging Servant, Okay, and most of the time with that cast, there's enough of a delay that Forced Elements goes on. This is an AA, and that works out nicely for a little extra DPS. And but if this is down, if this is up, you want to have this as the highest priority, really. And then it goes to the Shock of Many, which will keep another nice buff on your pet, as well as give it a decent nuke. And then it'll go to Chaotic Fire. And then it just kind of keeps rotating that. It leaves this one out. This is the big nuke that you have. It'll leave that out just because that's in my normal rotation here on my 3 button. It gets in there a good amount. It's a little costly, but it's there. The nuke spam is fine. That's how I like it anyway. So I'll use it as filler. If I need to just kind of finish a mob off real quick, or if we're in a super fast-paced group and this doesn't have enough time to even go all the way through, I'll just use my 4 key and just spam that in the group. It's pretty decent DPS, and if we're already killing stuff that fast, we don't need me to be going crazy with DPS anyway. We're doing fine. I'm a team player. I don't need to stroke my E-peen, as they say, to try to get top DPS all the time. So a lot of times sometimes I'll get it just by accident because I just don't care about that as much. Although I don't know if I've done it on my Mage, but I've done it on my Ranger before. Anyway, so we got pet heals there. I got the 2. I keep both the pet heals that mages get on my bar all the time. There's that. Then I had the rune, men pet in there, and the rune again in case there's lag or something. I always like to make darn sure that rune gets on the pet if it's up. If I'm in a survival, I need to heal the pet mode because that AA rune is really strong. It helps a lot. Plus you got the regular rune. It happens to be on them right now, the prism skin. The pet will proc on itself occasionally. Between those 2 runes, they can stay on there a good while when both of them are up. It's pretty awesome. And we've got the swarm pets, got host development. That's why is that in twice? I don't know. Let me take that off. I think I probably tried to fill in some extra stuff in there. It did one time. It didn't work out. I never changed it back. So there's that. And this right here, kind of lazy with my button clicks. I like to use my number line on my keyboard as much as possible, even though I'm a solo player, one account guy, I guess. I don't box or anything. But I hate using this mouse here unless I absolutely have to. So for the death sticks or the mod rods, we call them death sticks in our guild. I think it's kind of a fun nickname for it. So type of cast that, and then I'll auto inventory it. This timer works out pretty well with the mod rod casting thing. And my DPS boost whenever I run into a rare, or if I'm in a group, we're doing the big boss or whatever. I slam on this. I have all the glyphs up to date, but I have to use my mouse to click on those. I usually only click on those, depending on, I have all of them up here just so I can say whatever the situation is. When these run out, and if we're still going, I'm like, oh boy, I better hit power. So I hit the power glyph as my first go-to. If I'm really short on mana, I'll hit the arcane glyph, which reduces the mana cost of spells and stuff. This one really shouldn't even be on here, but I still got it. I don't know why. Dragon glyph if I'm getting hit, I'm in super survival mode, that can help out a bit. If my pet's still alive and hopefully survive. Because I got these res tokens here. If I'm able to survive and everybody else is dead, then I can res the healer, and we don't have to drop somebody out for me to bring up a merc and stuff like that. So, which is always an option in missions, but not in raids. But I don't raid, so that's still a thing. And this man, I name it mana, but I also use it for my pet pulling to back it off. Whenever I do that, as long as I'm not full mana, it'll do these other things that give me some mana back. It activates the mod rod. It does elemental conversion on the pet if it's in range to get a little extra mana back to me. While it hurts the pet, it's usually not that big a deal. And then you got the Unified Phoenix Feather, which is a item you get by doing a quest during the anniversary thing that gives some mana back, like 1,000 mana regen. It's not that much, but every little bit helps. And of course, the pet back off line. Excuse me. So there's that. I'm a little tired, so if my voice is a little low, just turn up the sound a little bit. Bodyguard. Oh yeah, that's the hulking bodyguard buff, plus it does the chaotic boon whenever that needs to be refreshed. The bodyguard doesn't need to be refreshed very often, but the chaotic boon I'm going to hit right now. There's that, and then it does the chaotic boon is so short, even extended, it's like 13 minutes. I mean, give me a break. I wish that was longer, but whatever. It does that because, again, I'm lazy. I just hit the 0 key and boom, there. Dash key, you got, that's my invis, and also forage. I just slotted forage in there recently, so I'm still working on that skill a little bit, just because why not? Matter of fact, I'll invis now. You'll see it. Of course, I don't forage anything, but if I was to, it would auto-inventory it for the regular forage, and if you get a little lucky bonus, that's why I have 2 auto-inventories in there. And then the mount key, which is a fairly new key, because I got sick and tired of having this. I used to have the sit key on the 2, because, okay, this one right here is the same as regular invis as far as the other stuff. It's just, invis to undead. But the mount key, I put sit on there, and it wasn't working really reliably if I just put the sit on the next line, even though it should. Maybe it's a lag thing, server lag or something. So I put a slight pause in there before it sat, and even when you're casting the mount, for some reason you don't sit if you're actively engaged in casting a mount. Maybe it's because you're activating an item. It's different, because usually if you're casting a spell, if you sit in the middle of casting a spell, you'll sit and it'll cancel the spell. It doesn't do that for the mounts, but hey, that works out fine for the purpose of why I made this. So, if you're in a dungeon and you can't use a mount anyway, but you still want to sit, I can still use this button to just sit. And if I'm in an open area like this and you can use mounts, you're going to prefer to be on a mount anyway, usually. If mobility is an issue on the mount and you don't want to drift or anything, somebody casted something on me, but it didn't hit for some reason. It's weird. Who did that? Ah, spastic. Ah, nice. I'm going to go ahead and, where's he at? Oh, dude, he's probably floating up high. On this server, you have to do shout for like an OOC. Anyway, so I probably should have sent him a tell, but I put it, I don't know. All right. Yeah, he plays this Spaz guy. He plays a Beast Lord. I don't know why the other one didn't hit on me, but I don't think it hit. I don't see it. I'm not sure what the other buff was. I think it was I don't know. I don't know what blocked it. Whatever. Maybe I blocked it. I don't know. Good enough though. It's good. He did his. People are like that in this game. They just they'll randomly buff people they see consistently just to be cool about it, and it's awesome. I already showed that one. This right here is just a call hero thing. I like to be a little funny sometimes, so I did a little group thing. If I do it, if I'm calling a group member, and of course that's the only way you can call people. But yeah, so there's that. Let me forge again. See if I get something. See. Okay, yeah. Sometimes the auto inventory screws up if you get two things. It's about 50-50. That's even with the two auto inventories in that macro. So and there's not a lot of room. You have to put a delay because the invis is not instant for the Mage, so you have to have this pause in there. But it's okay because there's also a little bit of a downtime for the invis also. So if you notice that you need to, auto inventory something that's still on your cursor. I hate having extra stuff on the cursor like that. So I just hit the button again. It's just a necessary evil that I haven't found a workaround for the uber lazy like myself. Let me go over these here. That's the shrink merc. Again, Xtar 2 is always my merc, so I do that if I want to shrink them. And I got two different pet illusions I like to use a lot. Usually I like to have my Mad Jester because a long time ago I got this in the marketplace. And it's really cool. I like it. But it's not in the marketplace anymore. So it's a little unique now to people that kind of missed the boat on getting it. So, and that was a long time ago too, man. I've had that for, maybe 10 years. It's been a long time. So there's that, and this Spider Merc thing here I got in a box for something. And I kind of like it because my character's a dark elf and it kind of fits his persona a bit more than even the pet, but I just like how the pet looks and he's more unique. It's not that unusual to see people having their pet as like a spider or something. And this right here, I named it AA buffs because it's just got a bunch of AA buffs that, it's got the unity buff. Then you have to do second wind and velocity on your pet if you want that stuff engaged. So that's what that one does. And I keep these things so I know when they're down. I don't feel like looking up the timers all the time for everything that's in a macro to time it out perfectly. It's just how I roll. Elemental form, in case for whatever reason I either upgrade it or it's gets knocked off for some reason. Perfected levitation for when I want to lev. I don't always like to have lev on, so I just don't like out. I don't know. I just don't like to have it on all the time. This is the cauldron. I'll hit it now. Let's see what we get. Nope, it's something that was lore, so I don't get anything. I'm going to take these off me. I really don't have any need for these to be on me, but it's nice to have them on the pet. And 67 forage, giddy up. This right here makes bats fly around me a bit. Here, I'll do it here real quick. See, I got bats flying around. It's kind of cool. And I got glasses on because that was another sort of temporary thing that was in the marketplace. That's if you don't, I don't like how the helmets look very well. They kind of suck, especially for casters. They don't always look good, so I like using these for both my Shadow Knight and which I haven't made a video about, I don't think yet, because he's a toy character. Anyway, in this mount, how did I get this mount? I think I got it in a one of those boxes too, the same one that I got the spider in. So I think I ended up getting 2 of those. You can get them for free if you have an account, just a sub on account. You get like $5 a month that you can splurge on stuff. And so I think the bonus went long. It timed out right, so I could get 2 boxes. So that was fine. Got lucky 2 times. 2 things I liked. Nice little special mount, which is kind of cool. It's sort of Dark Elf specific too. I think it's like an Inarok thing, which is a pretend deity that's in the game. They have a religion as part of the game, basically. This old game of EverQuest. It's an extension of the faction that actually doesn't really mean much anymore, but it used to. And then, of course, there's the res token. That kind of explains my HUD a little bit, for the most part. It's the pet window and everything. So, let me do a refresh on that, and I'll kill a couple things, and we'll call it a day. I'll leave the bats on. And I'm gonna, can I forge again? Yes, I can. Oh, got an inventory of that. All right, and I'm gonna refresh these manually here real quick. And let's kill some stuff. I'm gonna send the pet to that guy and also to this guy too, so I can give a good example on, and then I hit my 9 key to bring the pet back. I can go back again, and then I want to go back on the first mob, so that puts it on the first mob that I can send, hit my lazy macro to send pets. The damage shield keeps aggro long enough. I'm going to make sure he's on that second guy. He should be, but I'm just going to make sure. Macro is done. Just make sure he's on that guy. And I can hit my 1 button to go back to the first guy again to continue slamming swarm pets on him and stuff. And the pet I have currently is my DPS pet. And as you can see, he's tanking 2 mobs, 2 trash mobs. It's child's play. It's easy. Okay, now I'm going to hit my 4 key. Is my filler key, because that puts the pet room, or the progression spell back up, because that was able to be refreshed. You always want to keep that up as much as you can. If you want to maximize, the DPS does, or the pet does crazy DPS for a pet when you have that going. Now I could do a filler again, but I'm just being lazy, so I'm just gonna hit that. Also, I don't want to nuke the second guy too much and draw too much aggro. It doesn't take much for a mage to out aggro their swarm pets. Now I'm going to do filler. You saw the elemental force of elements go off on that. Just going to finish this guy off. Oh, there we go. Progression spell again. That was pretty early. It must have got refreshed by Chaotic Boom. I'm hitting 4 over and over again. That's why I'm going so fast. And now he should be up at the number 1 slot or number Xtar 3 slot again. And I just kind of send those back in. I'm just going to let the pet finish it all off. And that is what, now if I wanted to, I could click this guy. Ah, come on, don't die. I want to, it's hidden by the tree. I don't feel like moving. So, but I could have clicked on that guy and had the pet run over and get him, pull him back, re-attack, and just keep on going as long as my mana holds out. And, you can change targets easy with, if you keep your pet on G hold. Now the biggest negative to that is if you're not paying attention and you start getting hit, if your G hold is off, your pet will run over and help you out, get stuff off of you. But I like to have the extra control of the pet that G hold allows you to have. So I always have that on. A lot of people use that system also, but not everybody. I know a couple of guys in our guild that they don't like to use it all the time. They use it situationally, so they box though, so I think that's why they do it like that. That's it. I'm gonna go ahead and viz up, and this is Elwood EQ. You guys have a great day, and I'm out.